You are an embodied reflection of Source. You are thus infinitely empowered, abundant, and a co-creator with your context always. You are an alchemist. Divination works because the web of life is intelligently organized with coordinated and storied agency. Let's take a look at the stories playing out now. Hi everyone. So for all of us over the course of this Taurus new moon monthly cycle, we look at the Sabian symbol that is imbued at the degree point where the sun and moon are conjunct. This month, it's at 16 degrees Taurus. The Sabian symbol imbued at that degree point and flavoring the entire month's storyline for all of us is a battle between the swords and the torches. So this might be swords representing air and torches representing the fire in the belly, maybe the creative spirit. There might be a battle between head and heart over the course of this month for a lot of people. There might be some controversy, some conflict in the air on the global stage as well. So we'll have to take a look to see how this manifests for us. Aquarius, welcome to May 2016. This is a new alchemy scope, at least for this month. Instead of using cards to ascertain the message, the evolutionary message about what's unfolding for you, I'm going to be doing essentially some channel drawing. I'm going to tap in and see what symbols, what pictures, what images want to come through to explain, to bring forward out of the field of consciousness, what is it? What's activated for Aquarian-centric scope people over the course of this Taurus May 6th new moon cycle, that monthly cycle. Okay, so this is a bit of a meditation process this month. So I'm going to be tuning in, drawing. I invite you to actually grab a cup of tea or whatever you'd like and join me as I kind of tap in, as opposed to going to the end, because I think this is actually what was calling to come to actually serve you, to actually slow you, get quiet with you. Let's be in the process together. Let's pull it up together. It's that sort of process that's unfolding right now. So I'm going to pull up the images, probably mostly in quiet. It's been a fantastic process with the rest of the signs, so I'm excited to do this for you today. You can see remnants of these other images here, and your image may or may not connect to those. It could, but otherwise it might be its own entity wholly, okay? And then at the end I'm going to pull a guidance card for you that in lieu of the 64 Dakini Oracle, it will be the new goddess embodiment. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to make sure you can see. It's going to be this area, and yes, it looks like indeed you can see what's happening here. So, Aquarius. I'm just going to tap in here for a bit. So Aquarius, there's some mourning doves outside, and they're going through little spouts of argument and activation outside. So one, it's something to be mindful of, but two, if you hear that, if you hear any noise in the background, that's what that is. We also have winds, and you'll hear my chimes as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to make another note of that. So with the kind of, let's say, argument between the two or more mourning doves, because there's a few that come, there's several that come. So at any one moment, I don't know if it's two or more than that, but there's some strife. So there's just something to be mindful of. So Aquarius, what is it? Make sure you can see everything. Yes. So Aquarius 2, just to explain, as I've done in some, not all, of the other scopes this month, form always serves function. That's the reason why symbols and stories and archetypes work. It's because they speak to these elements of self that are embedded in living systems. Form always serves function. And so symbols and these pictures that are wanting to come are telling us of function that is unfolding. And again, this is a general reading, so just like the cards, we're tapping into a general evolutionary storyline here. It doesn't, it won't apply to everybody. I mean, it could be that you have an Aquarius sun, but that really it's your perspective that's evolving and shifting most now, in which case you need to watch your ascendant sign scope and tap in there. If it's your emotional body that's going through the most growth and evolution now, that is what you want to watch, your moon sign. So it depends. That's why different things resonate during different months for different people. It's because there's different activations that's unfolding for us most predominantly, that's dependent on your particular soul print, your particular encoded soul story. So it's all meaningful. It all makes sense. It all matters. I'm intrigued with this thing that wants to come. It's like a rope. It's certainly something very sturdily created. Very interesting, this. So again, just as I do when I do the cards, I'm making note of what's happening around me as I'm doing the drawing. And so there was a bunch, again, this is something you probably can't hear on the recording, but there's construction that just started. It's in the distance. It's outside my door that's open. And the doves that were there flew away in a flurry. So I just want to make note of that, because it could very well be that that is feeding into this message. In fact, I feel confident that it is. Okay, lovelies, I think this might be the completion here. Feels like it's done. Almost, almost, almost. Almost, almost. This wants to come. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, I think you can. So let's look at this. I think this is feeling done. And it's interesting because there was another sign that received, and I'm going to adjust myself a little bit here. There was another sign, Aquarius, that received this very angular, sloped line. I think it was, actually, I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to look. It was Leo. It was Leo. And of course, Leo is your polar opposite. So if you have, for example, if you are a North Node Aquarius and you're tapping in to your scope for your North Node, your soul's evolution, if you're feeling the most angst, the most pull to break yourself open into alignment, integrity, the direction that really is most aligned with your self, with your joy, with your bliss. Your South Node then, for example, would be located in Leo. And so I invite you, whether it's the North Node, South Node polarity, or something else, I would recommend that you look at the Leo reading as well. Because there's an interesting, there's this downward slope. There's this downward slope, and then there's a cross of the slope. There's a bisection of the slope. And then here there's yet another bisection with this seed, a big seed. Something big wants to kind of puncture through any kind of a downward spiral. Because here, you can see here, it's almost like a knot or a rope. It's like the pattern of a rope. So it's bound. It's almost like chain link too, but it feels more like rope. So it's something pretty hardy, pretty sturdy. That is, I don't know, creating or was at the start of what became this kind of downward, let's say, angle. Okay. But here we have a cloud. I mean, the cloud definitely was an easy emergence. It wanted to come easily. And it wanted to be kind of filled. I mean, it's kind of like a rain cloud. It has rain in it. It's not totally black. It's not totally gray. But it's a thick, juicy cloud that looks like it could rain. It's holding water. But from the end of this cloud, now notice that there's the most weight of, let's say, water that's being held at this back part, this bigger part, this base part of this cloud, whereby the front part of the cloud, the part that's ejecting outward, is open. It's white. It's clear. It's also more focused. You can see this kind of focused point on the cloud. So here it feels big and weighted, and then it evolves. It's moving toward more focus and more clarity. But at the base of this cloud, dear Aquarius, is this, I mean, it almost looks like it's a curved blade. It's like a sickle. There's almost this kind of sickle energy to it. It's sharp, it's cutting, it's maybe very mental. So here you have the air, the thoughts of cloud. Cloud is air, but really it's condensed water droplets. And this is holding some rain. So there's water in your thoughts. There's emotion, probably past either relationships or past patterns, I would say, that are up in your thoughts, in your mind, and it's creating maybe a sharpness that is coming down and out through you. And then anchored in the middle of this cloud is this other kind of rope thing, which is like another sickle. It's coming down yet again, but it's almost like this is the one that lives there all the time. It's almost like this is holding up the cloud, Aquarius. I hope this makes sense to you. This weight, this dark, big, cutting weight is hooked on almost like manually later in your life. This is like some kind of a root wound. It's coming at the back of your life, the early childhood part of your life. There's something that's coming up for you in May that is, you feel the anchor of the weight of your soul's wounding set, what you're here to learn, what you're here to break through. But then maybe middle of your life, depending on how old you are, that's going to vary. But midway through, you've created your own anchor. You've attached your own anchor that is a weight for this cloud, for your freedom of thought, for your freedom of ideas, beliefs, constructs, potentials, ideas of potential. So then if we come down here, I mean, this looks like, it looks like an amoeba of some sort. It has a tail on it. Again, it's almost like a sperm, although it's not really the shape. But there was another sign that got sperm, and I actually think it was Aries. So just a note there as well. But here we have this kind of amoeba-like thing with a tail on it, or a sperm-like mechanism here with a tail on it. But there's like prison bars here. It has all these vertical lines going across it. So there's something blocking, something preventing the seed, the new birth, the meeting of maybe the sperm with the egg. And I'm talking symbolically here. So this has to do with you imprisoning your own creative surge forward. That's what it feels like. But interestingly, Aquarius, there's this kind of, it reminds me of a comet. Like it feels like this is almost a comet tail. And this is like this big, like a big bulbous comet that's actually breaking through the prison, that's actually breaking through the weight that you've created, and that is just starting to break through this childhood weight. And when I say childhood, by the way, let me just make you clear that your soul is encoded with a wound set that is here to evolve the healing. Family events are simply catalyzations by family or by friends in our early life that catalyze the encoded story to be healed and wound. The family simply catalyzes the pattern into place. So the family or whoever is not to blame. This is simply your soul story, okay? But this is big for you, and look at how fabulous. I mean, this comet something explosive, something fast and forward moving in the month of May, Aquarius, is breaking through the prison of a potential project or relationship or a seed of a new beginning, and it's broken through this kind of tether that you have anchored on your own freedom of thinking, your own belief set, and it is just going through this kind of childhood or soul pattern, storyline that could be felt as toxic, could be felt as negative, heavy. In May, dear ones, you are going to start to feel a breakthrough of some very deep wounding. This is a good thing. This is nothing but a good thing. So yeah, that feels complete actually for me. So let me go ahead. I'm going to clean my hands here, and I'm going to pull a very special oracle card for you this month. Yeah, beautiful, Aquarius. I mean, it does feel like there's a breakthrough that occurs, and that you are going to feel at least the beginnings of the breakthrough of core woundings, of deep-seated stuff that has been holding you. It's like you're going to be waking up to a new level, at a new depth, to your storyline, to your wounding set, to what you're here to learn, evolve, mature. Beautiful. So in lieu of the 64 Dakini Oracle, I am using a deck that I've really only used for myself and for clients. This month, this was called to come forward for the general scopes for you. And this is the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle card deck. And let's go ahead and tap in for Aquarius for the new moon in Taurus on May 6th, monthly cycle. What is the guidance, the goddess, the embodiment for Taurus, or excuse me, for Aquarius? Now, one thing that I'll say is that Taurus has been wanting to be known over the course of this session of readings, and especially with one other sign. So I am really going to urge you, in fact, it might even be Leo. It might be Leo. Okay. So what I urge you to do, Aquarius, is certainly if you have other natal components in Taurus, if you have Taurus moon, ascendant, sun, North Node, or whatever, I would recommend watching it, because their guidance card was fearless. And it could very well be that what's happening here is, as you're breaking through to these core patterns, these core woundings that are at your root, we all have them, but you're starting to break through at a new exponential, very powerful level, and indeed fearlessness would be called, wouldn't it? So, dear Aquarius, check out Taurus's drawing and their reading and their card. So in the meantime, Aquarius, what is your guidance? What is your goddess? What is your embodiment for this Taurus new moon May month? Aquarius. Above you, the lantern dancer, number 1. Above you, the lantern dancer. Gorgeous. So stay tuned. I'm going to read you what this is guiding you. What is your guidance? What is your goddess? What is your embodiment? Beautiful. Aquarius. Above you, the lantern dancer. So this is what this particular iteration of Kuan Yin wants to tell you in May. Turn your gaze to the heavens. In this moment, look beyond your immediate reality, beyond what appears to be now. Do not imagine that life upon the ground and beneath your feet at this time is the only reality possible. Instead, elevate your gaze toward the guiding grace, like a star in the sky, that illuminates a way beyond what currently exists. Then you shall see me. I am the lantern dancer, lighting the way to a new path, a new reality for you. Even when the moon is full and you believe that you see all that is, I illuminate a greater truth, for there is more to behold here than what you have seen. Perhaps you see obstacles before you, but I only see the way through. Where the world says there is only this way, I tell you, the heavens know there is always another way. I am here to tell you, to show you the way to heaven. I am here to guide you with my light onto the path that transforms the impossible into possible.